Hello and welcome to Northeast Media Hub, the fastest growing digital media platform. I am Adalbert Khar with the latest Hub news. Be informed, be alert. Here is an important public announcement. Together we can overcome this pandemic by keeping everyone safe against COVID-19. If you have any queries regarding COVID-19, reach out to the state helpline at 14410. Stay home, stay safe, break the chain. Issued in public interest by National Health Mission, Government of Meghalaya. The upcoming autumn session of Meghalaya Assembly is set to be stormy as the opposition Congress has prepared its arsenal well, especially with the recent law and order situation in Khasi Jaintia Hills and Shillong in particular. The party promises to give hard time to the NPP-led MDA government with its questions and would not settle for anything less than a satisfactory explanation. The opposition will be focusing its attack on the re-emergence of militant activities and clashes at interstate boundaries as well as the tension in Shillong. A conglomeration of pressure groups and civil society organizations of Maulai under the aegis of Kasur Kinong Maulai has reiterated the demand for the suspension of police officials who were involved in the raid and ultimately the death of ex-HNLC leader Charistafil Thankyu on August 13. A public meeting was held in Maulai where speakers condemned the state government for not immediately suspending the police officers. Later, those present burned the effigies of Chief Minister Conrad K. Sangma, Deputy Chief Minister Preston Tensong, Home Minister Lakmin Rumbui, Director General of Police R. Chandranathan, East Jaintia Hills Superintendent of Police Jakpal Singh Dhanau, and East Khasi Hills Superintendent of Police Traffic Shailendra Bamian. On the resignation of Rumbui, Kharlingdo dubbed it a drama. Rumbui had stated in his resignation letter that he had not been aware of the police raid on Thankyu's residence. Kharlingdo also accused Sangma of double standards for not taking action against the police officials, even though he had demanded the suspension of police officers following another incident in 2017 when he was an MP. Meanwhile, Kasur Kinong Maulai will also launch a signature campaign on August 27 in Maulai to press for the suspension of the police officers involved in the Thankyu raid. Meghalaya Education Minister and MLA of Amlarem, Lakmin Rumbui, on Wednesday handed over the sanction letter to the Nong Talang College to avail benefits under the state government's People's College scheme. The letter was handed over at a small gathering held at Nong Talang village. Rumbui said this scheme is part of the MDA government's initiative under the leadership of the Chief Minister Conrad K. Sangma to improve the education infrastructure all around the state. Fresh reports emerged of clashes between security officials of Assam and Meghalaya along the interstate border. Things intensified on Wednesday when Meghalaya residents allegedly tried to forcefully cross into Assam near the Umlapher area of Karbi Anglong district. Police officials from Karbi Anglong pushed the mob from Meghalaya back, which led to a face-off between security personnel of both states. Police officials held talks with the locals and urged them to maintain peace along the border and calm down the situation. On Tuesday, Assam police had vacated a checkpost located in Umlapher after a clash broke out between locals from both sides. According to reports, while two youths received grievous injuries, one escaped unhurt after they were reportedly assaulted by Assam police personnel while they were on their way home from Maulasnai. Following the incident, angry residents took to the streets to register their protest. Moving on. The Environment Coordination Committee or ECC of Ilaka Sutanga held a meeting today in Mupala to discuss what it described as the government's failure to protect the people from pollution emitted by factories in the area. The attendees decided, therefore, to hold another public rally. A press release from the ECC said, because the people are tired of the government giving false promises to the people to take legal action against coke plants. Instead of protecting the public, government representatives are pushing for the legalization of such factories that are located close to human habitation, the ECC added. Despite Supreme Court rulings, it has also questioned the disparity in action by different arms of the government. The ECC pointed out that while the Deputy Commissioner closed one coke plant for violating guidelines and operating without proper documents, the State Pollution Control Board still issued clearances. The committee also criticized the coke factories for operating under what is claimed is Benami for the benefit of outsiders from Assam, Haryana and Rajasthan. In a tragic incident, a 21-year-old man was killed and 2 children were injured in 2 separate landslides triggered by incessant rains in South Tripura district on Wednesday. According to police, the victim has been identified as one Narayan Bhomik, a daily wage worker who died at 4 a.m. when the mud house where he was sleeping collapsed on him at Sarasima village in the Belonia subdivision. In another incident, 2 brothers, Rasel Mia aged 12 and Rahim Mia aged 11, were injured at Jheri Jheri village when another landslide hit their house. In a Facebook post, Tripura Chief Minister Biplab Kumar Deb said he was in constant touch with the local authorities and monitoring the overall situation. Deb further said that assistance would be provided to every affected individual. According to the district magistrate, initial financial assistance of Rs 20,000 has been handed over to Bhomik's family, while Rs 4.20 lakh would be provided later. The government has approved all 9 names, including 3 women judges recommended by the Supreme Court Collegium for appointment as judges of the top court. The names have been sent to the President for approval. The judges are likely to take oath on August 31. Justice B.V. Nagaratna of the Karnataka High Court is in line to become the first woman Chief Justice of India, a milestone in the nation's history. P.S. Narasimha, among the judges for the Supreme Court elevation, is also in line to become the Chief Justice, the 3rd lawyer from the bar to occupy the top post. The Supreme Court, which has 25 judges against a sanctioned strength of 34, will be left with only 1 vacancy after the new judges are sworn in. It is probably the first time that 9 names have been recommended for the Supreme Court and all have been approved by the government. Details for the vaccination of children between 12 and 17 years of age, including prioritizing those with comorbidities, will be made public before the Zydus Cadila vaccine, the first to be approved for the below 18 population, is rolled out in October. Dr. N.K. Arora, chief of the government's immunization advisory group, said Dr. Arora also cited the recent Sero survey to state that the chances of children facing serious health complications due to the COVID-19 virus were very unlikely and suggested that schools should be reopened. He said that there are about 44 crore children in the country under the age of 18 and suggested reopening of schools was necessary for the intellectual development of the children. A 4-year-old drug case has come back to potentially haunt some Tollywood celebrities. The Enforcement Directorate has summoned 12 Tollywood actors and filmmakers in connection with the drug trafficking and consumption case registered by Telangana Excise and Prohibition Department. Actors Rakul Preet Singh, Rana Dagubati, Ravi Teja, Charmi Kaur, Navdeep, Momet Khan, Tanish, Nandu Tarun and director Puri Jagannath, among others, have been summoned. Furthermore, reports suggest that the special investigation team of the Excise Department were unable to make any moves against the actors after they were questioned as they did not have enough evidence. While the SIT had reportedly collected hair and nail samples of 62 suspects, including Tollywood celebs, back in 2017. The team is yet to share information or update regarding the same. One charge sheet was filed against a South African national for allegedly trafficking cocaine from Mumbai to Hyderabad and selling it. He was arrested in August 2017. When the SIT questioned the accused back then, all the actors had denied any role in the racket. As per today's bulletin, India recorded 46,164 new cases of the coronavirus disease or COVID-19 in the last 24 hours, according to Union Health Ministry data, which pushed up the nationwide tally to 3,25,58,530. The country has seen the daily infection count spike by over 20,000, and the reason for it is the resurgence of COVID-19 in some states, especially Kerala. According to Health Ministry data, Kerala alone accounts for over 68% of India's caseload. According to the State Health Department, the southern state recorded 31,445 COVID-19 cases on Wednesday, the highest in 3 months. Ernakulam with 4,048 cases, Thrissur with 3,865 cases are the worst affected districts. The state government said that the reason for the spike is the festival of Onam, which was celebrated last week. Thank you for listening to our podcast. For latest news and updates, follow us on www.hubnetwork.in. Download Hub News app in your mobile from Google Play Store and Apple App Store. For promotion and publicity, write to us at info@hubnetwork.in. Thank you. Koblai Shibon, Mithela.